Good morning, welcome to our daily news of class 11A3 of Bao Loc High School.
I'm Thiện and here's Tan. We are from Group 3 and our headline for you today is population.
Let's see the growth of population with us.
Modern humans evolved in Africa about 200,000 years ago. About 100,000 years ago, we began migrating across the globe. Our population remained low, probably less than 1 million people. With the advent of famine, rapid up by 81, world population reached approximately 170 million people.
7 billion is a big number. By the end of 2011, you will be one of 7 billion people living on Earth. It would take 200 years just to count to 7 billion out loud. 7 billion steps would take you around the globe 133 times. In 1800, the world's population was 1 billion, and 130 years later, the population increased to 2 billion in 1930, 3 billion in 1960, 4 billion in 1974, 5 billion in 1987, 6 billion in 1999, 7 billion in 2011, then 8 billion. In 2045, it could be 9 billion.
About every second, 5 people are born, 2 people die. In the time you watch this video, our population has increased by 163 to 170 people, and nearly everywhere we're living longer. In 2010, the average person lived 69 years. In 1960, the average person lived 53 years in age. For the first time, even more of us live in cities than rural areas. Megacities where has population over 10 million. In 1975, there was 3 megacities. Right now, there are 21 megacities. By 2050, 7% of us were living in urban areas. But we don't take up as much space as you think. Standing shoulder to shoulder, all 7 billion of us will fill a city of Los Angeles. So it's not space we need, it's balance. 5% of us consume 23% of world's energy. 30% of us don't have clean drinking water. 38% of us lack adequate sanitation. 7 billion people, speaking more than 7,000 languages, living in 194 countries. Now, you will be joined with our editor to go to the most populous regions on all continents.
Hi guys, can you hear me? Okay. I'm an editor of 11A3 News. I am in India. Look, the weather is so hot. I have been here for the third day already to census India population. There has a big amount of population with 1.385 billion populations. Consequently, Asia is the most populous continent with its 4.64 billion inhabitants, accounting for 60% of the world population. The world's two most populated countries, China and India, together constitute about 36% 20% of the world's population.
Hi everybody, I'm Kian. I'm an editor. I'm in Nigeria, where is the most populous Africa continent. This country has 208 million population. Africa is the second most populous continent with around 1.34 billion people or 70% of the world population.
Hi, I'm Tam, and now I'm in Russia. It's one of the busiest countries in the world. Russia has the biggest population among Europe with 144.5 million, Europe with 747 million people, make up 10% of the world population as of 2020, while the Latin American and Caribbean region are home to around 653 million, with 8% North American, primarily consist of the United States, and Canada has the population of around 368 million with 5%.
Is that a kangaroo? Oh hey guys, I'm in Australia. I noticed that the population here is very spare. They are extremely friendly. Australia, a huge country with 24.99 million people. Oceania, the least populated region, has about 42 million inhabitants, contains 0.5% of the earth.
And Antarctica only had a very small fluctuating population of about 1,200 people, based mainly in polar science station. Oh, I'm so cold. Bye bye. I must to combat station and cover myself in a blanket now.
Welcome back to our stay. Today we have invited a great scientist, Ms. Han Yun. Hello Yun, how are you today?
Hello, I'm fine, thanks.
We have some questions and we would like you to answer them.
Okay.
Does the Earth have enough resources to support this many people?
There are many answers to this question. Some scientists think that there are enough resources to support 8 billion people, but I think that we must limit population growth because our resources are limited. Only 10% of the Earth's land can be used for farming, and another 20% for raising animals. There is a limit to the water we can use. There are also limits to the amount of petroleum, iron, silver, gold, and other metals. Research has shown the average third-world woman has more children than she wants. Among the women who do not think they have too many children, half of them do not anymore. However, although millions of women want to limit the size of their family, they know no safe way to have fewer children. Safe birth control methods for family farming are not available for them. It's time government and international organizations did something to help them so that the world population growth can start to decrease instead of continuing to increase.
Oh, thank you.
Welcome to our cinematic stage. Today, I'm invited a special guest. Her name is Hương. Hello, Hương.
Hello, everybody.
Can I get your opinion about the population growth after you hear the mindset of Han Yun?
Okay, I have been observing and see that the person like Mr. Yuan had the mindset that population growth sometimes takes on negative connotations, especially where population are considered to be brimming. I believe that population growth has positive effects on societies. This includes economic benefits for tax expansion of tax basic and increased spending at the local businesses, as well as benefits derived from innovation by culture seeking to keep up with growing populations. Experiencing the different growth of life in my society, I came to realize that population growth as a whole is very much beneficial because not only there is a diversity to my society, but also to the world at large. Our society is more enjoyable when we are able to learn about the lives of people in different cultures and, if possible, learn and experience from these cultures.
Okay, thanks for your personal opinion.
Okay, bye bye.
So, how can we stabilize our population? Solution 1: Education. By educating people, we can help them to understand the effects of our population. We also need to teach children and people about sex, limit the amount of children we have. To stabilize our population, we can limit the amount of children we have. For example, China had a one-child policy, which means a couple can only have one child. So, what are the benefits of stabilizing our population? Well, we will have more resources for everyone and less complete. We will be less people living poverty and the cost of living will decrease. There will be more space and homes for everyone. Ours will be less polluted. There will be enough jobs for everyone. And our future generations will be better educated.
Now, let's judge aging population with one of the most concerned global issues. The cause of this phenomenon is a rapidly declining fertility and mortality rates, and with it increasing the expectancy, the elderly population grows faster than any other population group.
Hi everybody, I am Thiên and I am a editor. The survey shows that the elderly is not a complete burden, but instead a great opportunity for the service industry for the elderly. Many business opportunities to serve the elderly will appear even in China. This market is considered very promising when the proportion of elderly spending on service account for 165 billion USD per year. In many countries, elderly people are still entering the labor force. About 46% of Vietnamese elderly are still working in paid jobs.
Oh, thank you. Welcome back to our state. Today, we have invited a demography scientist. Her name is Gwen. Hello, Gwen.
Hello everybody, my name is Quỳnh and today I'm glad to be invited here.
Okay, I have some questions for you. What's the challenge of aging population?
Well, I think young dynamic workforce is in short supply, especially in labor-intensive industries such as textiles, food processing, and industry that require a dynamic young knowledge team like electronic informatics, service, large expenses on social welfare and healthcare for the elderly. It is possible to delay aging and stabilization of the population by promoting higher birth rates or increasing immigration. However, delaying an aging population is both a problem and likely to making it worse because adding young people later as they get older will also increase the number of dependents. Today, young people will be the elderly in the future, and therefore today's labor force will be the dependents tomorrow.
Our news ends here. Thanks for your attention and follow up.